Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. A hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a light classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Wanna get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly, right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our technical fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it.
I was very much interested in learning digital marketing course for a very long period of time, but I don't get a proper platform. So later for my college, I get to know about XLR and I enrolled in XLR course. It was really good experience. Our course has been taken by Mayur sir, and he was very good teacher. He's not only focusing on theory part, he's doing how real digital marketing works. And it was in total very good experience. I get so much of knowledge. Here they're not only focusing on study, they're also conducting different exams to test our knowledge. And as we are giving the exam, so to appreciate our work, they give certificates for the toppers, and along with the certificate they give hampers. Thank you, XLR.
Recently, I was searching for digital marketing courses online in Google. and I came across XLR and I attended a digital marketing course which was for 15 days. My mentor Mayur helped me for attending these classes. So he is a very informative and helpful guy. In the course end, there is a exam which I topped. So I came to the XLR office in Bengaluru. This digital marketing course has helped my career and my skills to develop, and the certificate has helped my company to join. Thank you, XLR.
I came to know about this course from my college. Actually, for learning platform, this is very nice, and I learned from here ChatGPT and AI from online. Because he's teaching for me for AI generative and ChatGPT. We are using this technology in more. And after finishing the courses, I came from for collecting the certificate. I seen the classrooms and faculties. Classroom is very nice. After the completion of exam, they will give gift and certificates. Thank you XLR for giving these courses. I learned a lot of from this. I gained the more knowledge from here. And thank you for XLR for teaching us.
Right. So good evening, everyone. So welcome to day 6 of our session on generative AI and agentic AI. So let me start the session. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So let us start today's session. Okay. All right. Right. So first, in the today's session, first of all, let us try and understand one AI concept or one AI tool, which is Perplexity AI, because I got a few requests on that. So let us try and understand what is Perplexity AI and how it is actually gaining importance in the field of artificial intelligence and generative AI. So how this is actually gaining popularity, and a few how a few companies have actually tied up with the advancements of Perplexity AI. So we'll see that. So first, to understand what is this Perplexity AI, first of all, this is, as we know, as the name itself has, that it's a Perplexity AI. So we already know that it's an AI tool. correct? So that is a very basic thing, and definitely that it's an AI tool, right? So they're calling, I'll tell you why they're calling it as a cutting edge AI tool or cutting edge powered, powered search. And I'll come to this cutting edge technology as well, because today I wanted to explain to you a few things that what you need to learn in order to understand and use some of the AI tools. And let us also talk about the LangChain. And related to LangChain, what is the most important aspects which need to be covered, right? And we'll also cover that, and a few practical things on NLP also we'll try to understand, right? So how this natural language processing is linked to tools like LangChain, right? And not just the LangChain, but also concept like Hugging Face, right? So LangChain and Hugging Face are two, very important parts of generative AI. So, we'll take it from there and we'll understand a few things in NLP. At least some 2 to 3 sessions. We'll try to understand how, this generative AI processes the request and how, it actually understands the request. And also we'll see a practical part also in Python, especially in the Google Colab. Okay, so this is the agenda for a couple of 2 to 3 days, and then we'll take it from there with the AI tools. Okay, so now talking about the Perplexity AI, this is basically why we are calling it as cutting edge. I will actually show you, right, that what exactly things, how you can actually segregate things like what are the basics, what are cutting edge, and all. So I'll just segregate and show you as well, right, in the coming in a few minutes. Right now, to understand that what is this Perplexity AI, so this Perplexity AI is basically a AI powered search or an AI tool engine, right? So like how we actually search for a few things, for example, like a ChatGPT or I can say Microsoft Copilot and so on, right? So as all these AI models are actually using these LLM models, so LLM is nothing but the large language models. So this actually use LLMs in the real time. So what are these LLMs? How text and all, bit of deep learning, everything we will go, we will cover in this sessions. So the things which are linking to generative AI, how these tools are working, what is the real time basis for that, what is the relation that how these concepts like deep learning and natural language processing are contributing to the generative AI part, and how they are carrying on their shoulders. So that part particularly we need to understand. And LLM models, how to actually run these LLM models, LSTM models, RNN models, all those things also we will see. Okay, and talking about the Perplexity AI, particularly, this is a real-time tool or a AI powered search engine, right, which actually converses. For example, like how you actually converse with the use of ChatGPT. So when this is launched, this is actually very new technology. So it's around 2.5 years, right? December 2022 is almost like 2.5 years, correct? So this is actually, there are a lot of people who are actually involved, right? So this kind of AI tools cannot be developed by one person. So there are a few people who have partnered or who have actually together worked upon. So one of them was actually a Indian. So Arvind Srinivas is one of the person who is an Indian. So he was one of the partners, or who was the I can say the owner of Perplexity AI. So there is one more person called Dennis Yaratz, Johnny Ho, and Andy Kowalski, right? So there are 4 people who have actually developed. So this actually platform, or this Perplexity AI, is a tool which is used for particularly conversational purposes. So we'll see why and how these things are actually working. So there are a few core features, right? So you already by this time you already understood that how this particular tools actually work, right? But you don't know the technical aspects of how they work. So, these 5 days I've given you a few overviews where how this actually, how these things work, and how we actually give a prompt. So, how these prompts work, how or what is the natural language behind this, that we will try to understand, from today's session. So that is the difference between, last week's session and this week's session. So this week we will dive into that, it is taking a prompt, right? And how, we actually use these applications. But now how that particular AI tool or AI application understands that, that is where our natural language processing comes into the bigger picture, right? So in the core features, the first thing, is actually about asking the questions. So how they understand, how they, take the context part, right? How a model actually understands the context, right? How it will identify the words, how it will build a model, how to, predict something. All these things are part of natural language processing. So that particular part we will understand. It's a very, very key thing and practical part also we will see. So next is real-time information. So particularly, tools like Microsoft Binge or Bing, right? Plexity provides up-to-date information on this. So next is the Pro Search. This basically, as we know that this tool is basically a conversational AI tool. So next is Spaces and Threads. So this can organize, into the research space as well, right? And next is multimodal capabilities. So all these AI tools, if they are able to survive this multimodal, or it has this multimodal capabilities only, these things can survive in the market. Or else, the amount of competition for AI tools as well or applications is enormous and it is very large. So let us see some use cases, right? So particularly in the field of, students using these, these tools, right? So this has become very high. For example, for your, study notes, or, to solve any complex problems, or to, basically find or do some research. So people are using these AI tools, whether it might be ChatGPT or whether it might be, any other tool, or even it might be a Perplexity AI, right? So, using of different tools have become more prominent. So next is professional development. So to conduct this, market research and strategic plannings, all these things, these tools are very much useful. So then the content creation. So the content creation is a very important factor, particularly in the field of generative AI. That is why we are calling it as generative. That means it is generating the content which is not existing. So next is everyday queries. So, from cooking recipes to travel planning. So even travel, you would have tried planning something, in the using a ChatGPT or a Perplexity AI or any kind of AI tool, right? So you would have tried, right? So, give me an itinerary for, 4-day trip to a particular place, right? So, in a day we have to roam for 6 hours, or, in a day we have to roam for 8 hours. So something like that you would have tried, even for holiday planning as well. And also on a certain syllabus or something like that, give me a strategic planning that, if I study for 3 hours, or if I study for 2 hours, or if I have to study for 4 hours, give me a strategic planning to, do these things. And also these everyday queries are, have become like a part and parcel of our life, I would say. So next is the platform availability, and the application particularly of Perplexity AI. You can see it in the website called as perplexity.ai. So you can click on this link. Anyway, I'll share the PPT. So you can click on this link as well, or you can just Google search it, that for Perplexity AI, you will get the website link as well. So it is also available both on the iOS and the Android. So browser extensions also. So many of you would use these browser extensions, right? So a few are, free, for a few will be, paid services. So So, browsers like the Chrome, right? Microsoft Edge. So you can use these as extensions as well. Okay. So now the growth in partnerships, this is what made, I have actually tried searching for many partnerships where this perplexity, but we are only getting a few. So, a few things I have picked from the AI tool basically is they are actually, tied up with, I think everybody knows Samsung, right? So they have actually tied up to use the artificial intelligence because a Samsung has this AI which is embedded into their smartphones, correct? No, so they currently the series is S25, right? So in the S25 series, if anybody is using, you might understand what I'm trying to tell you. So S25, S25 Plus, I think Ultra, there are some 3-4 models, right? You will see the AI applications which are embedded in the, so that will be either developed by Samsung's team, AI team, or they might partnership with a particular company. So for this S26 series, they are trying to replace the Google's Gemini completely, and they want to integrate this Perplexity AI. I don't know how much they will succeed because they tried this with Bixby also. I think many of you know this Bixby, correct? So I don't think removing Google's Gemini is such a good move. Even I was thinking when I was seeing this. But Perplexity AI has created a lot of buzz. So maybe to promote Perplexity AI, even they have, would have partnership. And one more important thing is, companies like NVIDIA, Databricks, and Amazon. So these people have also, tied up. With this Perplexity AI. So that was the talks. I was getting only a few things, maybe a lot of things, a lot of partnerships are in, a lot of discussions or something like that, because it's a relatively new tool. So approaching big companies, showing their, AI. I think, many of you know how business works. Correct, no? So it is not that easy to tie up with such a big companies and do the partnership and business as well. So one such breakthrough what they have gone through is like companies with Amazon, Nvidia, Databricks, and company like Samsung. They have actually breakthrough. I would say a fairly good market because these are some of the big companies in the industry or market. So now let us go to the next important thing, that understanding the generative AI tools. So this one understanding, I just wanted to give you an overview that what you need to actually study and understand for generative AI. So generative AI, as I told you, if you are just attending the workshop, how to do how to use the applications, it is in a easier way or a better way. Probably you might need to understand how these actually work, right? So on basis of that, you can actually do better in using of these applications. So I have categorized into 3 particular aspects. One is beginner to intermediate, and then intermediate to advanced, right? And then advanced to like super advanced, like research level. So 3 levels I have actually divided the understanding of the concepts. So which kind of concepts are required, or which level of understanding is required for you to understand or use these generative AI tools, that is extremely important, or that actually is, you will have some idea, right? So for example, let us say beginner to intermediate level. So a decent level, right? A moderate level. So you can see that, for example, you want to use, tools like the ChatGPT, DALI, Midjourney, right? Or, a lot of, a few people were telling about this, what is it? I forgot. This creator. Yeah, okay, fine. One app was there. Yeah. So this Perplexity AI, right? Like this, multiple AI tools. So just using for a basic purpose, right? So one important thing is, when it comes to even using a beginner to intermediate level, right? The most important thing which you have to know is particularly neural networks. That is where I'm going to start our journey also, right? Because through these 5 days we have seen how things work in the real world, right? How practically we can do that we have not discussed. So that we will talk. Only some prompts we have seen, but practically using Python code, how we can actually use this generative AI. So that part we will see in the coming sessions, including today. Okay, so there are a few things that could be finished in time. So we will see some practical, or maybe practical we can start tomorrow. So that is based upon time and scheduling. So the most important aspect is the neural networks. So when I say neural networks, there are a lot of concepts inside neural networks. So I will give you a brief overview of the neural network also, right? And how neural network is like a lifeline, or a very important aspect to generative AI. So we will talk on that also as a part of this program. Okay, so you need not worry that how we will know what is this neural networks, and also I'll give you a overview as well, right? Including the models like the CNN, RNN, LSTM, all these things we will discuss. Okay, so as a part of neural networks, we are starting, I'm going to start one of the, easier things which you'll be able to figure it out. That is why I'm starting with, NLP, natural language processing, which is used for generative AI tools and applications. So directly, I'm not going into the neural networks part. So in the neural networks, there are a lot of things like what is neuron, what is input, what is weight, what is activation function, right? So there are many concepts which are embedded inside the neural networks, right? And then we have back propagation. Then we have the models such as word embeddings, like the word to be vector, glove, and all. So even these models practically we will see as well. Okay. So next is the generative AI models, and we have the latent space model as well. So we have seen what are these, and then we'll come to the transformer architecture, and the most important thing is why it replaced the RNNs and LSTMs. So that also practically we will see. Okay, because before there was RNNs and LSTMs. So that was replaced by transformers. So I have given you an overview of what is a transformer as well. So practically also we will see what is a transformer, how it will impact the generative AI tools as well. Okay, so this is how actually you have to understand based on if you want to learn on beginner to intermediate level. Okay, so next is if you are planning to learn or build a model, right? So when it comes to building, so you will come in the category of intermediate to advanced level category. So here you need to understand or have a reasonable experience or reasonable knowledge, right, on the GPT models. For example, I'll tell you a small example. Like for example, if you say LangChain, right? I was telling you that we will understand about LangChain. So when you have to use the LangChain has, it's a, I'll tell you, it's actually a framework. So before going into that, when you have to understand this particular models or a framework to begin with, the most important thing will be how to use this LangChain, because it's a framework. So for that we have different kind of models like the Olama model, right, Hugging Face model. We have the models like the LangChain, right? We have the models like Hugging Face. Yeah, there are a few models. So how these particular technology can actually be embedded, right? So that is very much important for us and for us to understand. So now when you have to build an application, right, by building, or whether you're tuning the model or you're building an application, the most important thing particularly is to have a solid understanding or a solid foundation of the neural networks. Like, what is a loss function, what is an optimization, right? And when it comes to CNNs particularly, CNNs are basically for images. So what is GANs, what is VAEs? So little understanding of GANs, VAEs, what are diffusion models also we have seen. So those in action, in practical, we will see, right? So you'll be able to understand that, oh, this is how things are working, right? So, and particularly models like the RNNs and LSTMs and GRUs also, right? And then the transformers, which are the the lifeline, particularly for GPT models and BERT models. So next is the loss function. So we have something called as a cross entropy, adverse real loss. We will see as a few things. Let us not go too much depth, so that you might feel deep learning is so many things are there for generative AI. So you should not break your head too much also for that. So what we will do is we'll try to understand that how generative AI uses these deep learning and natural language models to understand something, to do something, or build something. So that level we will see, so that you will have an understanding that how my AI applications which I am using actually works. Okay, so that is my that is my plan, to make you to understand that part, not completely go into building an application. So that is very difficult. It takes a lot of time and a lot of depth of knowledge into NLP and I would say deep learning especially. So next is sampling strategies, like the greedy top K, top P, temperature, and so on. So then we have the autoencoders, VAEs and GANs, right? And then we have the diffusion models. Then we have the transfer learning and fine tuning techniques. So what is the goal here is customizing the pre-trained models or build lightweight models from the scratch. So that is in where this becomes an intermediate to advanced level of generative AI models. So next is at the research level or the innovation level. So this becomes more of advanced level, advanced to research. That is the research always comes at the advanced level. So if you want to push your boundaries, especially in the something you want to do on your own, right? You have to be expertise in the especially in the advanced topics, particularly in the deep learning, such as the ADAM, RMS prop, LR schedulers, and so on. So we have ADAM is nothing but an optimization, adaptive momentum sample. It's a technique. Okay. So then we have the loss landscape generalization and convergence models. So convergence models, you have multiple convergence models. So we will speak what is very much required, particularly for generative AI. So then you need to also have mathematical foundations, especially in the fields of linear algebra, probability and statistics part, then information theory, right? And then the architecture designs as well. So I don't think we are going at we are going to go at this level, right? Because this is completely into innovation. That means you are building an application from your scratch. So that is not possible to do it in 30 hours, right? So we will understand how it works, how real-time generative AI models actually work. So this is the order where you can actually build yourself in the future as well. Okay. So this is the recommended topics which you can learn. So neural networks, then what is a perceptron? What is a multi-layered perceptron? CRNNs, RNNs. So in this, most of the things I will cover especially. And when you talk about the neural networks, the most as a part of neural networks, we also understand, or as a part of deep learning, we also try to learn the natural language processing part as well. Now let us go to the important application which I wanted to tell you why we have to learn deep learning and NLP as a part of generative AI. Okay, so because most people think generative AI is completely different. It's not. Generative AI, right? This deep learning, and natural language processing is a part of generative AI. Okay, if you do your research, also you'll be able to figure it out that it is part of generative AI. Now, let us see what is a lang chain. Okay, so even Hugging Face also, I will tell you. Right now, if you see here, what is LangChain? LangChain is actually a tool. Okay, it's a tool which can be designed or which can be built. Okay, now when you say LangChain as a framework, or you can say, let us not talk about the, for a few people may not understand what is a framework. So it's like a foundation stone, right, for applications such as OpenAI, right, anthropic, Hugging Face, transformers, and more. So by looking at this, what is LangChain, you would have probably figured it out that LangChain uses the technique of GPT, right, and transformers, right? Many of and more I have put, right? That more has a lot of things like the NLP models as well. Okay. Now, when you talk about what is a LangChain, it is not just a single prompt. So it's a multi-model prompt. So now let us see what are the important features of LangChain. So chain multiples, chain multiple LLMs called together. Then we connect LLMs to multiple sources, multiple databases, or multiple websites. Then it is using multiple tools and APIs. Then maintaining memory for chatbots and building agents that can reason and act step by step. So this is what LangChain can do. Now, in a simple way, what is LangChain? So think of a LangChain as a backend AI engine that makes LLMs usable, scalable, and integrated into complex applications. So if you are using ChatGPT and if you are able to process the text easily, there is LangChain behind the scene for using of ChatGPT. Okay, or Hugging Face and transformers as well. So implementation of Hugging Face and transformers, I will show you inside the natural language processing as well, how this is actually done in the real time. Now, let us see the key components of LangChain. So you can see the most important part that it is an LLM model. Okay, so and in this, the first one is the OpenAI. Then we have the Hugging Face. Then we have many LLM models which are there in the market. So I just put a few and I just put etc. because there are many, right? There are many LLM models in the market. So next thing is, these are some of the prompts which you can consider. So you have to call the, when you have to give a particular prompt when you are writing or building an application. So we use the Python code. I just put it for, I would say, just for example, or just to show you that how, how a prompt can be written when you have to give a particular template. Okay, so here you are asking, explain the topic, whatever you put, it will put in that particular template. Okay, in simple terms. Like that, all kinds of models will be trained inside that particular LangChain. So this is how the chain works. So chain, as the name itself tells you, LangChain, right? It's a chain. What is a chain? Chain is nothing but a sequence of steps, right? So prompt, model, and the output. So it basically what it does, it combines the logic with the LLM models or the large language models. So it has a chain with the prompt and the LLM model will actually work. It calls in multiple models and it retrieves whatever you are actually asking the question. Okay, so this is how the template actually works. So now what are agents? We know that what are agents already, right? So they are actually some powerful entities or tools or applications inside the LLM models. So searching the web, doing the calculations, like all these things basically are part of agents. So next is tools, right? And right from the Google search, right? Python, REPL, right? Calculator, file search, web scraping. So web scraping is nothing but collecting the information from the web for doing the sentiment analysis. Okay, so for that Hugging Face is also used. I'll come there a bit later. Okay, so next is memory to support context-aware conversations. This context-aware conversation is what has actually changed the context, or actually changed the the entire picture of the entire generative AI, right? So what we are speaking as generative AI, right? This has transformed, right? Or this has become into a limelight, but basing on this context based understanding or context aware conversation. So this has changed the entire nature of how we looked at artificial intelligence. So here LangChain allows chatbots to maintain memory. So conversational buffer memory, conversational summary memory, vector store retrieval memory, and so on. So it also loads the documents, right? You would have tried in ChatGPT or in other AI tools. So you can read the PDFs, docs, CSVs, web pages. Because I'll take the example of ChatGPT also, because ChatGPT is an application which is using the framework LangChain. Okay, because this is developed by OpenAI using the LangChain technology only. Okay, so bit by bit, piece by piece, I'll connect the dots, and you'll be able to understand the whole picture as a whole thing. Okay, so SQL databases, Google Drive, all these things are applications of LangChain. So next is retrievers. So here we have the vectors, particularly retrievers and vector stores. So what is this vectors? You will understand easier way when we go into the natural language processing part, which is useful for or which is like a lifeline for generative AI. Okay, so this is these are some of the search engines or vectors or embeddings which the LangChain has, which it has. Okay, and now this actually integrates well with the applications such as OpenAI and Hugging Face. So I told you, ChatGPT is one of the applications which is built on the framework of LangChain. Okay, so you have Streamlit, Gradio. Okay, so even I'm actually looking to implement this Gradio or Streamlit. I'm looking for that also, because I'm more focusing on LangChain particularly, because the only reason is LangChain is bit of that industry level. That means when you say what is LangChain, right? When you go to the corporate, you have that understanding, or how things work in LangChain. So it is that kind of level which is happening in the industry. So it also integrates with the ML flow, okay, and so on. Now let us before going into what is natural language and how natural language processing as a a model building, whether it might be simple tasks in natural language processing, or a model building or anything, how the text is actually understood, and how it is actually linking to generative AI. So if you have any questions, you can just ask me. I'll just see if you have any questions. If you don't have, we can move ahead. So you can just ping the questions if you have, and just wait for maybe 2-3 minutes. If I have, I'll answer, or we'll just move to the what is NLP. Okay, Ashwin. I think in coming years, we will see more of Perplexity AI. Yes, I will cover that Hugging Face. Probably, I think the practical part comes today. It's good. I think with NLP, first concept, even tokenization, I've taken the Hugging Face. Hugging Face, I'll tell you, it's a very interesting um, concept, which is particularly used for. Oh, you're asking what is Hugging Face? Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, in simple terms, what is Hugging Face? Hugging Face is used for sentiment analysis. So, for example, you just have texted me that, thank you so much, sir, for explaining, right? So you're happy that, I have taken up that. So you're happy in this scenario, okay? So analyzing the nature and behavior of people is what sentiment analysis is about. So we will see bit of sentiment analysis because that is part of Gen AI as well. So a bit we will cover, okay, because what's best can be done in 30 years, I'll try to cover. So Hugging Face is I would say it's a like a module or library. It's based. It is like that only. LangChain is a mechanism. Yes, yeah. So Hugging Face is a one tool, or I can say one application inside the LangChain, which can be used for using the sentiment analysis. So definitely we will cover Hugging Face. So as a part of Gen AI and usage of Gen AI, definitely Hugging Face will come. So I'll cover that. So you can just remember for time being. LangChain a mechanism. Yeah, it is like a bigger picture where controls everything. This transformers architecture, the model building, whatever happens, Hugging Face, even this OpenAI, I've actually, done bit of I've digged more, I've done more research and this weekend, and, I have found out that, the application, particularly, what we can actually, they're using in OpenAI, it's actually the key connectivity, and I'll tell you I'll tell you a bit, but the OpenAI key, the connectivity to LangChain, yeah, there's a big process. So probably if you're having OpenAI subscription, or if you have any subscription from your friend, probably you can take. I'll just show you a few things also, that how you can connect your AI application, and you can work on something like that on your own. So I'll try to show that also. I have that in mind. Let's see how things work, and maybe that could be bit of too much also for people who are just learning Gen AI. But yeah, a few things I'll try to cover up. We will see. We'll see what's best can be done. So yeah. So for you guys, actually, to understand how NLP and deep learning are actually contributing in the background for generative AI, that is very, very, very important. So, just saying generative AI, something which generates, how it is working in the background. If you don't know that, that's not good actually. So, I'll focus on that part especially, that how you can, understand, the background, what is happening for these AI applications. Right. So, any other questions? Only one question from Ashwita, one or two questions, and so apart from that, anything else anybody has? So you can just ping it in the chat, because we have muted you. You cannot ask directly. So probably you can just ping it in the chat. Okay, so probably we'll see if any question is coming. Awesome. Guys, okay, fine. So we'll continue with the session. Taking no questions. Right. So now let us understand that what is natural language processing. You would have actually come across what is NLP. Let's continue. Okay. Yeah. So probably you would have heard about what is natural language processing, and a few people would have been aware that what is NLP. Okay. So NLP is a very. I will give how many varies you want, you can put. So it is like a VVIP status. Okay. So very important status in the field of in the field of artificial intelligence. It's a very important concept. This concept is built in order to make the machines understand our natural language. So in order that you're asking something for a machine, it is actually giving you a reply in your own language. For example, if you are giving, a few applications have Hindi, English, right, Spanish. So many languages they have, but common language what we are using currently is English, correct? So you ask something for a tool like the ChatGPT, right, and it gives you the reply in English, correct? No. So have you wondered that how it is actually giving in English? Sir, what kind of a question is that? Why do you ask like that? That how it is giving you in English, first of all? Okay. So that is very important for you to understand that why it is able to give. First of all, it has to understand, right, the English what you have given, because think logically. A computer is a machine, right? An AI application is a software. Correct. No. How it is understanding your English, right? Does it know that it is English? Absolutely not. Right? In your school level, you would have understood that a computer doesn't know anything except one zeros. It processes the same thing only. Even AI also, right? You're asking something in English language to understand, to interpret, and to give something, right? For you back in English, it is using one important technology is natural language processing. So that is why I say this is a very important subject, I would say. It's part of deep learning. Okay, so deep learning has uh, you know its own concepts. Apart from that, two important technologies which are embedded in deep learning. One is the natural language processing, and the other is the computer vision. Okay, so natural language processing focuses more on the text. Okay, so whatever is in the form of a text data. So that is why I told ChatGPT. So when you put in text, right? So to understand the text, right, it uses the NLP techniques. Now, when you say, sir, here, yeah, I will ask you one question, sir. So, here we have some, text to image generators, right? And, here we are giving as text. So you're saying it is an NLP technology, what it is using, but it is converting into an image. But NLP only processes text data. So then how it is converting? For that, there is one more process which is computer vision. In that, there is something called as a CNN model. So CNN is nothing but the convolutionary neural networks. So this CNN and RNNs and LSTMs are only replaced by the technology called as transformers. So from the first session I was telling you that. So that was replaced, right? So natural language is a model builder. So all these concepts inside the natural language processing also work inside the transformers. So it's not like NLP is replaced. NLP will not be replaced. The models which are built inside NLP will be replaced. So instead of using RNNs and LSTMs, now we are using transformers. Even transformers for text generation comes under NLP only, right? So this is how things actually work. So let us take step by step. So in simple terms, NLP helps computers make sense of human language, both written and spoken. So the machine is understanding what you are actually speaking, right? So that is, it is understanding by using the natural language processing techniques. Now, let us go step by step in a simple way. Okay, so the first one is understanding the text. That means you give something, right? It has to understand, it has to find the meaning, right? All that is very important. Now, when you say a text, right, and you say to translate, so it uses, first it should understand, then it can only translate from English to French, probably English to Hindi, right? Next, extracting the information, right? Then generating human-like responses, exactly. So what you are getting in ChatGPT, correct? Then interaction via conversations, like how you are doing with voice assistants and chatbots. So now let us talk about how NLP is working at a high level. Okay, so input text to speech recognition, then it is using the pre-processing models, right? Then like cleaning, tokenization, normalization, and so on. Then it is using the feature extraction, right? So converting the text into numerical representations. Then it is using the modeling, which is machine learning or deep learning, to analyze or generate the text. So probably this line will make you to understand why I'm explaining about NLP inside generative AI. Because to generate something, it has to understand. To understand or to generate something, sorry, to generate something, first of all, it has to have a model, right? How do you build a model? By using machine learning or deep learning. So inside deep learning only, you will have the concepts of natural language processing. So this is the link between, in a simple terms, between your Gen AI and natural language processing. So output is the classification, translation, summary, and so on. Next is the techniques. There are many techniques like the rule-based, which are very older, they have gone. Then statistical NLP, this is at the second level, which is probability and machine learning. So this also has been surpassed with the third thing, which is deep learning NLP, which is neural networks, like your ChatGPTs, BERTs, which are the state of the art technology or results which is happening. So these are basically a neural network models. Okay. Now let us see some of the libraries which are actually used inside the for Python for using this natural language processing. So the most and important library is the NLTK. So NLTK is very fast, very good, great for learning. It has a lot of models in it. And the next one is Spacey, right? So Spacey is also very good. Then we have the text block. Then we have the all important, the superstar, which is Transformers, which is built by Hugging Face. Now, when we say Transformers, which is built by Hugging Face, and Hugging Face is a model, and it is used for advanced deep learnings like the BERT and the ChatGPT. So like, or GPT, let us not say ChatGPT, let us say GPT, right? So now you would have understood that there is a relation between the generative AI text generation, which is an advanced deep learning model, which is using the modules or libraries like the Hugging Face, which is a technology of Transformers, which is a part of natural language processing. So this is the entire relationship between the model, generative AI models or AI applications, what we are using with the deep learning and NLP. So now the combination of NLP is nothing but the AI plus linguistics plus computer science. So allowing the machines to interact with the humans in a natural, intelligent way. Okay. So now let us see some real life examples. Okay. So let us see some real life examples. Let us, I have put some examples where it is very easy for you to understand that how you can see the NLP in action. Okay. Let us not go into too much of, things. So let us keep it very simple. So virtual assistants and chatbots. So you are aware of this, right? Like the Siri, Google Assistant, Google Gemini, ChatGPT, everything comes under this virtual assistants and chatbots category. So in this, how NLP works? So it uses into speech to text, right? Intent detection, then conversational response generation as well. So this is a NLP task. What it is, natural language processing task. What these assistants are doing. So where it is used, so where these are used. So these are used inside smartphones. You might be using Google Assistant or Siri or Alexa, right? In your smartphone. So home devices, right? So Alexa, we are not using in smartphone. We are using Siri, Google Assistant, right? And then home devices, Alexa comes, banking applications, customer service supports or portals. Now, language translation. So everybody would have used Google Translate, right? So DeepL, leave it out of the picture. Everybody knows Google Translate. Everybody would have used, right? So the first thing in Google Translate is machine translation, sentence segmentation, grammar and syntax parsing. So then it is used in the travel apps, multinational communication, educational tools. So next thing is email filtering. So this also you would have used, right? So how Gmail filters the spam or ham. Ham is nothing but a genuine mail. Spam is nothing but a junk mail, right? So Outlook also identifies. So this we would have tried. So this is done using the NLP's models. So NLP has a few models. For example, a simple model like the naive-Bayes classifier. So Google uses this naive-Bayes classifier model to identify the Gmail's spam classification. So text classification, keyboard extraction, pattern recognition. So used in email clients anti-phishing systems. So next is the sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis is identifying the reviews or understanding the reviews, whether it is a positive or a negative reviews. So the most important tasks are like the tokenization, sentiment scoring and opinion mining. So we will do the practical part of tokenization as well as a part of our journey of generative AI. So it is used in the e-commerce, market research, political campaign tracking, right? So it is very important to understand the reviews or understand the public. So for that, we are going to apply the sentiment analysis. So next is autocorrect and predictive text. So this is you have used how NLP is contributing or what are the tasks which are done is language modeling, next word prediction, and then spelling correction, right? So this you would have used in your Gmail, you would have used in your Google search, right? In your smartphones, chatting applications, everywhere you would have used this autocorrect and predictive text. Next is speech recognition. So you would have typed, right? Or you would have used this, voice typing, YouTube auto captions, Zoom's transcription, right? So we are using Zoom, right? So in that we have the transcription as well. So that is done using the speech recognition. So we have this NLP task, speech to text conversion, sentence segmentation, and this is used in accessibility, content creation, virtual meetings, and so on. So the next thing is search engines. So I need not tell you, you are most aware of the most famous search engine, which is the Google search. So query parsing, keyboard expansion, and named entity recognition. So named entity recognition is one of the models or tasks in NLP that also we will do as a part of our course. So used in search relevance, voice search, and targeting. So next is text summarization. So here we have the news apps showing bullet points, summaries. Then we have this, extracting abstractive summarization, sentence ranking. And this is basically used inside the legal tech and journalism and edtech companies. So next is resume screening in HR. So there is an application called as Applicant Tracking Systems, which is the ATS. And this is in this how NLP works is keyboard matching, semantic similarity, named entity recognition. So it is used in recruitment, internal hiring tools, freelancing platforms. Next is social media monitoring. So for this, brand mentions, customer feedback, right? Feedback tracking, trend spotting, and the task which is there, sentiment analysis, topic modeling, hashtag entity recognition. So this is basically used in the marketing, PR, right, and the crisis management. Okay, so before going into what are the basic NLP tasks, what we have, probably we can go for a short break. So you guys already know the drill. If you have any questions during the short break also, you can put it in the chat. So I'm just putting here also. So if you have any questions, you can just put it in the chat. So after the break, I'll just answer your question. So we'll continue with the NLP tasks what we have, and we'll go to a practical. I think one practical part time will be sufficient. We'll see tokenization how it is done in today's session before closing it out. All right. Let us continue. Okay. So let's continue the session. I think I got one question. So it said that analytic updations are too slow compared to spacey. For particularly NLTK, for all the it is not like there is a small tweak which should be there in the question. So probably you would have out of unknowingly would have asked that. But the thing is, NLTK is like a base library which is used, right? Even though they have multiple libraries which are there. For example, like let us say we have Hugging Face, right? Hugging Face transformer we have spacey, but when it comes to using of basic things like the tokenization, stemming, lemmatization, you need to use the NLTK library. Like it's like if you're aware of Python, probably you might understand. You have pandas, NumPy. There are very big libraries, let me tell you, which is used in data science, but for getting the output in an array, if there are any output in an array, you need NumPy. That doesn't mean that NumPy is a very basic library, why it is used. So the same goes with NLTK also. It might be slow, it might be fast. So if you use particularly in any cloud-based, you need not install anything particularly, right? And most of the errors are also fixed, particularly in the Google Colab. So particularly, except for the basic things, some of the projects are also fine, but something which is very advanced, which actually we need the help of Google Gemini also, because when you use in Colab, it uses the AI assistant Google Gemini. So that will actually help you to fix some of the errors as well. So that what is syntax wise, if something is having any issues also, that can be fixed. So that is why. So it is not like real world. It is not used. NLTK is slow. So that is absolutely not. Okay. So NLTK is used in the real world also. It might be slow, right? But who cares if you are using particularly in Colab. For example, I will detailedly tell you. While applying, rather than vaguely just telling like this. Let us also discuss this over a practical part, so that that will be more interesting and that will be more useful actually, rather than just talking like this. Okay, so let me continue. So I have a bit of practical part also to discuss. So let us not waste much of time. Let us directly jump into what I am supposed to do. Okay, fine. Let me share the screen. Okay. So I think you can see now. Okay. Now let us see some of the concepts in basic NLP. Okay. So there are divisions in how NLP actually goes, right? The first part, or the basic part, right? To use all these basic tasks, particularly inside if you have to apply it in Python, we have to use the NLTK library. Okay. So tasks like the tokenization, right? So I'll explain about tokenization in detail and how to actually do it also, practical part. A few things we will see. So stop word removals, and the most important ones also the stemming and the lemmatization as well. Okay, so that is one thing we will also see. Okay, So tokenization is nothing but breaking into small words. So why this is done is to pre-process the data. Okay, in a simple way, you can remember like that. So to pre-process the data, we use the concept of tokenization, like means giving tokens to words, okay, or creating subwords in a sentence. Okay. Next is the stop word removal. Stop words are nothing but the words which doesn't give you any meaning when you have to build a model. Okay, they don't carry any importance or they don't have any meaning, not in the sentence, for building the model. For example, like the, is, in, and, for, or, right? All these things are stop words. Okay, so we will remove these stop words by using functions in NLP. So next is the stemming and the lemmatization. So stemming is nothing but cutting the extra thing for a word. Okay, so lemmatization is nothing but reducing it to its natural form or a dictionary word, or we can say in a simple word that its original form. I would say, reducing the word to original form is what lemmatization basically is. For example, better, you can give good. Okay, so wherever there is word which is related to good, it will reduce to good itself. So but stemming is not like that. So stemming is playing, played, right? Play, everything will convert into its root form, which is play only. Okay, so there are stemming is bit faster compared to lemmatization, but there are a lot of flaws when you do stemming. So this problem is overcome by lemmatization, but it takes bit of time to process. For example, if you have a huge amount of data or huge amount of sentences to process, lemmatization takes a lot of time. So next is the parts. After these three, there is one more important part, which is parts of speech tagging. So identifying the grammar for the words in a particular sentence, because we are saying natural language, no? So the machine has to understand, including the parts of speech as well. So whether it's a pronoun, noun, adjective, right? So all these things also it has to understand. So next is named entity recognition. So this is exactly identifying the dates, right? Extracting the names, informations, right? So it is based upon importance upon a particular location, particular date. All these things comes under named entity recognition. So next thing is the intermediate task. What can be done, right? So the first thing here is the sentiment analysis, which is very important. Understanding the sentiments of the customers, right? So particularly used in product reviews, social media monitoring, right? So the Instagram, Facebook, right? So you will get the video dissimilar kind of videos which you have liked or which you enjoy watching, because you give a love symbol or you put comments on that. So you do a lot of things. So this is basically sentiment analysis is actually done on it. So similar videos which you like so much are more projected into your Instagram page or a Facebook page, right? So next is text classification. So identifying the text is one important application which we use the NLP for. So next is language modeling. So we have the predicting the new word or text, autocomplete feature, and GPT style models. Next is the topic modeling. So topic modeling is nothing but identifying the I can say used in document clustering or trend analysis, right? Next is text summarization. So summarizing this is one of the applications. This text summarization is one of the applications you are seeing in the current industry, particularly in the mobile phone. So many of the smartphones now have this application. The chips are having this application which is built in, which is softwarely built. Like on the page, particularly, you can summarize what is there on the page. So text summarization is one of the applications which you are seeing in the real world. So it comes under intermediate NLP tasks. Now, let us go to the next level, which is the third level, which is the advanced level, right? Here you will see things like the machine translation, Google Translate, like the next question answering pattern, Q&A, the applications like the chat GPT which you are using, which is a DGPT model. So next is the text generation, right? So generating the text content creation like the chatbots, right? Like the chat GPT and all. So this is generating basically so many things. Next is speech recognition and text to speech. So audio to text, text to audio, right? Transcription, all these things come into the category of speech recognition and text to speech. Next is co-reference solution, resolution. So detecting when different words refer to the same entity. Alice went home, she was tired, right? So this is one example which you can think of. Now, let us go to the fourth type, which is emerging in the present world. And it's a cutting edge technology where NLP is contributing to the growth of generation or generative AI. Okay. So I would say generation AI also, because it's a generation which is happening inside AI. So generative AI. So emotion detection is one of the things, right? So it is mental health monitoring, which is happening kind of right now. So detecting based on that, it the device reacts in such a way. For example, if you are using a particular application, so based upon your mood, things change accordingly. For example, like a text, right, speech, something like that. So next is intent recognition. So understanding what the user wants, right, like the conversational AIs, right? So book a flight to Delhi. So it will go to flight booking and it will try to search, right, for the right airlines for you to book. Next is conversational agents like the ChatGPT and the virtual assistants. So this can actually work on multi-turn conversations. So next is information retrieval, which is through search engines, which is actually saved. So, the data what we search is basically saved in the corpus. Next is semantic similarity. That means measuring how two different texts are similar. So like the plagiarism checking and duplicate detection. So this is one of the areas which you can think of. So now let us go to the first important task in, I would say, natural language processing. So so the first important thing is the tokenization. So I've not explained in detail there when I have given the task. So attendance link, please wait. Okay. So now let us try and understand that what is tokenization, okay, and how tokenization is one of the important tasks in NLP. Okay, so everything is important, but it starts with a baby step, which is tokenization. So this is basically dividing the words into tokens or smaller units or subwords. Okay. So it is divided into subwords, or it is actually divided into smaller words. Yeah, sir has shared. We can just okay. Right. So this is how the tokenization actually works. So subdividing or breaking down into smaller units. Now let us see one example. Real world examples of tokenization. Okay. Now if you see a message like a chatbot message, "Hi, I like to order a large pepperoni pizza." Okay. Now you have actually texted this, or you have given through voice, let us say. Okay, so either it might be text or you have given through voice. Now, how does it actually tokenize, or how does it divide is, it will divide high, right? And again, it will separate like. Okay, here you have given a comma also. So it will divide that comma as well. And it will divide this I like to order a large pepperoni pizza. So it is divided into separate words. That is what tokenization is. Okay, each word will be given a number which is called as a token. Now, in the use case, how it will identify is the most important aspect in the entire sentence. How it will identify is the word order and large pepperoni pizza. So it will identify that you want to order a large pepperoni pizza, right? You want to order it. So that it will identify. So this technology is basically, or this application, or this kind of concept, right, is basically used inside the food ordering bots and the voice assistants. Okay. So next is one more example. Let us see. So customer complaint. So I was charged twice for my internet bill this month. So I was charged twice for my internet bill this month. It will divide into separate words. Now, now here the use cases, it will identify that it is a negative sentiment. How? Because you have mentioned that you are being charged twice, right? So since you have mentioned that you have charged twice, it will identify that, because based on the charge twice and the internet bill, it will identify that it's a negative comment or a negative sentiment, right? So this is basically used in customer support systems and ticket classifications. So next, the third one is the news headlines. So India wins the Cricket World Cup after 12 years, right? So here we are doing the sentence tokenization. So sentence tokenization is basically used for text, sentence summarization. So if this is a part of a paragraph, for example, it's a, let us say there are some 10 lines. So this line is a part of one paragraph. So from one full stop to other full stop, it will consider as it is a sentence. So it will put this block of line as one sentence. So that is sentence tokenization. So before here we have done the word tokenization. That means dividing into individual words. So sentence tokenization is nothing but putting into sentences. Now the use cases are basically summarization, named entity recognition. So here, by using the NER concept, it will identify that India, World Cup and 12 years. So it has, something has happened at that particular time. So it is after 12 years, they have won the World Cup. Okay. So it is used in news aggregators, text summarizations and sports analytics, right? So you are doing text summarization. No? So this is the technology which is into it. Next, let us see Twitter post. So can't believe India made it to the finals, Cricket World Cup 2025. So by this time you would have understood that how it will actually divide the words. Now here in this case, it's a Twitter post. So it is definitely an emotion, or it is a sentiment attached to it, right? Because you have put hashtags. So that hashtags also, it will extract that it is cricket and World Cup 2025. So emotion, it will identify. So this emotion is actually linked with the sentiment analysis. So emotion detection and trend monitoring. Then used in social media monitoring, which is your Instagram, Facebook, Twitters, all X, all these things, right? And brand sentiment analysis. Next is medical prescription, which is OCR output. So take one tablet of paracetamol every 6 hours of the meal. So word tokenization is dividing the word into multiple tokens. So the use case for this is the dosage extraction, drug name identification. Then this is used in medical document analysis and healthcare applications. Okay, so before going into stemming, let us see the practical part of tokenization. Okay, so probably we can do that for today's session. So let me share my, just give me a minute. let me share the yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll do one thing. Step by step also I will run. I will share the collab link first. Okay. I think you can see it now. Okay. All right. Fine. So now let us see the examples of tokenization. Okay. And let us start by understanding how things work. Okay. Now, without using particularly inside, let us say, without using any library, we can actually tokenize. Okay. Also, without any model, we can tokenize. For that basic tokenization also example I have taken. Okay. So, you'll be able to understand that what difference these models are actually bring to the table. Okay. So that particular aspect you will understand. Now, when I have given a text, which is natural language processing, is fascinating. Okay. Now, first I'm using a simple model, right? Actually, I'm not using any library first. So there is one particular function which is split, text dot split. Okay. Now, by what it has to split? Here we have not mentioned anything. So it will identify that it is, you can use any delimiter actually to split. That is how this word tokenizing actually is happening. Okay. So actually, we don't use like that. Just for starting, I'm showing you. We use the libraries, okay, in order to tokenize. Okay. So I'll come there. Here, we are using one dot, which is, end of sentence, to tokenize. Okay. So now when you actually run this piece of code, right, what will happen is, I'm just running it. Okay. So if you can see here, it is giving you an output. Okay. So it is giving you an output with word tokenizer and sentence tokenizer. Okay. Because here we have given a delimiter in order to split. So basically the function is, it is just to split. Okay. So we are just giving it to split by using a delimiter. So if you are not giving anything, it is basically splitting. So that is become a word tokenizer. So if you are giving one particular dot, so because we don't put a dot in middle of the sentence, we put at the end of the sentence. So it divides using a dot. So that becomes a sentence tokenizer. So this is on a very simple language. Now let us move bit forward. Okay. So you can probably actually you can try this later. Okay, I'll share you the Python file as well along with the today's session. Okay, so you can try that later. Okay. Now let us go down. Now let us try using a library which is NLTK. So NLTK is the library which we are using here. So natural language toolkit. To use this natural language toolkit, there is a couple of libraries which have to be downloaded. So punct is what you have to download. So this punct underscore tab is basically used in Google Colab actually. Okay. So just for using that, in Colab, I have put this punct underscore tab. Or usually you don't need this when you are using it in Jupyter Notebook. Now, since you have imported this NLTK, right, you have to call the functions inside the NLTK. So the functions which you can call, or you can say the moduli which you can call inside the NLTK. See, here it is showing also. Yeah, just that's good actually. You can understand. NLTK is a library, okay, but tokenize inside NLTK is a module, okay. Now, this tokenize is a module inside NLTK, and this becomes a function. Okay, so here it is showing. See, when I select it, that is why, for a specific things I use collab. Here you can see that it is showing that what is this tokenize. This is basically a function. At the top, it is showing function, and then it is showing word tokenize. See. So now, in a simple way to understand, group of functions will be inside a module. Okay, group of modules will be inside a library. So you can think library as a bigger picture. Here in this case, NLTK is a library. Okay, so NLTK is a library. Inside NLTK, you have tokenize, right? You have many modules: stemming, lemmatization, stop words, bag of words. Everything is inside NLTK only. We will go step by step. Okay, so inside NLTK library, you have you have the module called as tokenize. So inside tokenize, you have functions like the word tokenize, word underscore tokenize, and you have sentence underscore tokenize as well. Okay, so since we are using functions here or library, here we have not used anything, but here we are using. Okay, so let me run this. Okay. Okay. Now, once you have called this functions, okay, and you have the text with you, correct? So you can give this text or that text, any text you can give. Okay, you can use any text. And here I have used the functions which is sentence tokenize. Okay, and I have used the word tokenize as well. Before we didn't use any function. We have just given the split. We have used it, but it's just a normal function. It is not any, it's not any bigger function. It's just a simple split function, which is I would say a simple Python function. Yeah, this should be easy for you to understand. This split is just a simple Python function. Okay, but that is not the case with tokenize function here because it is inside the NLTK library. Okay, so this sentence underscore tokenize is here. You can see it's mapping. Okay, the same goes with word underscore tokenize as well. Now it will tokenize by segregating the words into what I have given I showed you in the example. So here it is tokenizing hello, right? Even the exclamatory mark, right? So everything it is basically tokenizing. Okay, here it is a sentence tokenizing. It is for word tokenizing. Okay, now let us go to another example by using spacey. Okay, let me run this also. Okay, so here I have used spacey. I'll come there. I have given a text called as tokenization is the first step of NLP pipelines. Okay, so that I am using the word tokenizer. Okay, so the syntax is a bit different when it comes to spacey, because it is, see here you can see spacey is a module. Okay, it's a good thing it is showing. That is also one of the reasons I've used Python also. Okay, to show you. So it is showing spacey is a module. Okay, so it is, you have to download the English tokenizer, like for NLTK, how you download this punct, right? The same thing, you can see this punct. I'll select it. It will show. I think it will show what it is. It is like a repository actually. It's not showing, but let me try for this. No, it's not showing. It's basically like a repository which has the necessary things to apply the NLTK library. Okay, so now coming to the Spacey part. Here in Spacey, you can actually see the tokenize function, where this is the standard function, which actually is there. I think it will show maybe. Okay, it's not showing. Okay, so this is basically a standard function which is basically used to tokenize if you are using Spacey model, okay, or Spacey module. Okay, so let us go to the next part. Now I have taken one example, also one small example of using a transformer. Okay, so you might be waiting to see what is a transformer. So here I have given what is a transformer. Okay, so it is loading. It's not showing that. Here only it should show. It is showing C here. Okay, so it is basically a module, right? Now in this transformers, right, from transformers, you can see the BERT tokenizer, and we have discussed about this BERT also. You can see here it's showing. So BERT is basically a constructor. Okay, so it will actually BERT has many things, but BERT is basically it's a module which is actually I would say a model which is constructed by Google, or which is I would say invented, right? So I would say that. So in that BERT, you have something called as a BERT tokenizer. Okay. So now, if you use this BERT tokenizer inside this, every BERT technology or GPT technology will be inside this transformers only. Okay, it will be inside this transformers only. It's an easy way to remember. Now, to obtain this BERT tokenizer, that's why I mentioned here tokenization using the Hugging Face transformer. Okay, a very simple example for you to understand. Okay, now right, it's a very simple example, but you will be able to identify the use of transformers, because we have been discussing about transformers now for a week or so. So for identifying or for getting this BERT or you can say tokenizer into the collab, right? So we are bringing the transformers. So here you can give any text. So I've just given something related to transformers. So transformers are powerful models for NLP tasks. Okay. So this is what I have actually given. So for this, we have used the tokenize function. So you can use sentence tokenize or word tokenizer. Okay, so it will run this model, and here it is also giving the IDs. Okay, so this is very important actually. These transformers have the ability to give the IDs as well. So that means token numbers, right? If you go order food somewhere in a restaurant, right, he gives an ID, right? So what is that ID? Like he will call you, okay, this number, this food is ready, correct? So the same thing, here you have numbers. For example, in the sentence, transformers are powerful models for NLP tasks, okay? And here you can see that transformers has been given a token which is 19085. Okay, so that is a standard word which is standard number or a token which is actually given. Okay, so now going down, let me use one more text in order to identify the word tokenizer and sentence tokenizer. Okay, so here I've taken one big sentence. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do one thing. This is pretty big. Probably you'll be not able to see. Okay, it's also I have not ran actually. Most of them I've ran it and kept because it takes a bit of time. Okay, We'll do this now. Okay. Now let us use a big sentence now. Okay. Here I have given a big sentence in the form of a text, which is NLP is a subfield of AI concerned with the interaction between computers and humans using the natural language. It enables machines to read, understand, and derive meaning from human language. NLP powers applications such as chatbots, machine translation, sentiment analysis, and speech recognition. Now, I am using a very simple model, okay, or a basic model, as I can say. Native Python model we are using. Now, you can just based on a full stop, I am dividing. Okay, I'm not using any big function. Okay, to tokenize, and by a splitter I am using for a word tokenizer. So here the top we have seen, no, same way I have actually showed you for a bigger text. Now, now rather than this is just basic. Let us go to text which is used or done by using a NLTK library. So which is natural language toolkit library. Now for the second method, which is using the NLTK, we can use this word tokenizer or sentence tokenizer, which is inside this, correct now? Which is inside this NLTK. Okay. So here you can see that, right? So here you can see that I have used the sentence underscore tokenizer. So the same thing what I have done before, but the text is bigger in this case. Okay. And it has divided into words. Now, next method is using the spacey, right? Which is for the text which I have given above, right? So the same thing here for spacey, these are all the standard syntaxes. So you need not worry much. Even I have taken a very standard syntax only to explain to you guys. I have not taken anything much complicated so that you will be feeling a bit difficult. So the spacey thing, always remember you have to use this spacey.load n underscore core underscore web underscore sm. So this one, when you do multiple times, you'll be able to figure it out. This spacey is basically called as an industrial level or industrial strength NLP model. So here I am applying the sentence tokenizer, and right here is the function, and I'm also applying the word tokenize. Okay. Next, going to the fourth model. I think I have not run this. Only this one I have run. Yeah. The second model also I have not run. Yeah. And the third one also will get the output. Okay. See, for sentence it is showing in different sentences. It has tokenized. Okay. And for the word tokenizer also, it has divided into all words. You can see output. Okay. Next is fourth method, which is using the Hugging Face model, right? So for transformers, you have already identified, we have to use the BERT. Okay. So we use the BERT to obtain the model. Okay. So we will tokenize whether it is for a word tokenizer or a sentence tokenizer. Okay. That is using a BERT. And here subwords it is divided, and here we have tokens also which will be given. So each individual word will be given a token. So natural is having 3019, language is having a token 2653. So they are numbers for each word. Okay. Now let us plot the graph. Okay. So if you have any error, you can actually fix like this as well. So this frequent is showing error. Let us work on that. So yeah, you can fix this error and we can run the code. Okay. So you can see here it is fixed by Gemini. Okay. So we are giving the frequency distribution and we are calling the matplotlib. Okay, so this one shows the most common words which are actually used. So if you see, most common one is the comma. and okay, here we have not used the stop words, no. So if you have removed the stop words, this and will not come first of all. Okay, so we'll get there. We'll get there in the course of time. And here you can see the most repeated words. So comma has been given 5 times. Let us not consider these things. Okay, you can consider NLP, which is 2 times, and natural is 1 time, language is 1 time, processing is 1 time. Even is also will be removed because it's a stop word. Okay, since we have just started with the tokenized, I cannot tell you everything in one, so I just divided. Okay, I'll show you different examples of applying all the models in one. Okay, so going into top 10. So this is what is actually there. Okay, so this is just for the frequency. Actually, probably I can frequency distribution. So top 10 frequencies here as well as here also I've just applied. Anyway, okay. So this is about the tokenizer. Okay. So in tomorrow's class we will just go forward. Okay, we'll go forward into other concepts of NLP, how these important things are actually powering, the generative AI, which are a part of NLP. We'll cover those particular aspects. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can just ping it in the chat, or you can keep it for tomorrow's session also. It's 9 already, but if you have anything, I'll just answer it now itself, so that it will be your doubt will be cleared. Okay. Sir, I think we can wind up, sir. Then I think nobody's asking anything. We can wind up for today. Yeah.